Welcome back, y'all. I am the Reverend Rock and Roll and founder, pastor, mentally ill advisor of the Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints. I've been wanting to do this video for some time. I lost my voice for 4 days or so. I haven't been able to speak. So I'm finally getting around to this. I did some traveling, went to Chicago, and had an unusually busy Christmas holiday season. I think I probably pushed myself a bit too hard, but I think it was worth it. It was a great time of year. I want to do a few things with this video. I want to do some channel updates. I want to show some records, some of my favorite pickups of 2023. But the first thing I want to do, and the most important thing I want to do, is raise a glass and say thank you. Thank you to everyone with the shared passion of music we have, the love affair we have with music, or even vinyl, who took the time to do streams, to make videos, to comment on my videos. My favorite thing to do is to interact in the comment section. Maybe they commented on your videos. Peanut Gallery people, Instagram, everyone who took the time to make content, to do things. Thank you so much. I love it so much. And it's just a blast. But I have one small request for 2024 for all y'all who produce content or post. And I want you to listen to me carefully. Hold on. I want you to listen to me carefully. For the love of God. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't let anyone shake you out from making content, okay? Don't let any bozo. I don't care if you're a small channel, a big channel, keep making content. It's a blast. For a long time before I made videos, I was a watcher. And I watched some of these channels grow so big, and it was incredible. Some people call me a watcher and other things, controversial, and feel no need, again, with something that you love so much. Feel no need with this gift, this miracle, this God-given, whatever you want to call it, ability to communicate with language. Feel no need to be nuanced. Let it fly. That's when it's best. That's when you're at your best. Just let it go and have a blast. I'm going to take another sip of this and do a channel update. I'm rapidly deteriorating, but I'm going to get through this. Before I show some music, some channel announcements. The Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints t-shirts, they're in. They're in, baby. But I'm going to work with some models to size test in case anyone wants sizing advice. And your feedback on the potential size you wanted was very helpful. Thank you very much. Picking a size run. I had to make some adjustments. I've never done anything like this before. It's a trial run, though, for some other ideas and concepts I'm working with people I'm close with to try. Because I'm low-key. I'm low-key for the first time, ambitious for this channel in 2024. Now, the religion, the Church of Elvis, and even more Latter-day Saints, which I'm the founder, pastor, spiritual advisor, that's flying, okay? That's organic. That's a word-of-mouth thing. I can barely keep up. But the channel takes consistency and effort and work, as you know. And I'd love to grow it, but I've never gone after it. And one of the reasons why is I think I'm at my best when I do just one album or even one song. But I never had a consistent way to present that. And that's the way I started this channel, focusing on single albums for the most part. And I'm even going to do songs. But late last year, I tried some ways of presenting it, and I think I liked it. And I'm going to move forward with it. But I will say it's probably more for the casuals. Not everyone's a vinyl degen like we are. I will always be a vinyl degen, to be honest. Let's make that clear. But I'm happy to give it a shot, and perhaps I can even grow this channel, as silly as that sounds. So thank you again for your support, and let's get into some music. By no means is this a comprehensive list of 2023 favorite pickups. These are reissues, things I've never had before, upgrades. Just thankful that they did them on vinyl, some new music too. I moved last year, and as a vinyl degen, living in an urban area where space was a constraint, I had vinyl in numerous locations. Got reacquainted with things I forgot I had for a very long time. Sold way more vinyl than came in last year. Just didn't buy as much. I actually went a couple months without buying any vinyl. The horror. I always sell vinyl, but last year was a lot. So I'm going to do that thing Fremmer hates, where I'm going to do this quickly and move on. But I am going to spend time with this one because it represents something. Steve Reich, drumming, music for mallet instruments, voices, and organs, 6 pianos. Quite the mouthful. I think from 1971. For the longest time, I wanted this and could not find a clean copy. I don't know why. Just bad luck. It's not rare. It's not a grail. It's not particularly expensive last time I checked, although that was a while ago. But I gave up. But in 2023, I did a video where I talked about some personal issues, struggles, with a neuroinflammatory disease I have, a neuronal network issue that can dictate a lot in my life, unfortunately. But I decided to make a conscious effort to start meditating music. And I'm a casual with this type of music, but use ambient, drone, minimalism, even neoclassical. With the restrictions of vinyl, it's conducive with time of a side to meditating. So when I decided to do that, I wanted to jump back into this. And sure enough, I went out and got another copy, and it was perfect. Absolutely so happy. And this represents to me a change in the way I was approaching music last year. And for the most part, it's been a real success. It's not easy to meditate. It's not easy to meditate when external sensations try to grind you. So really happy I picked that up. And I have to thank Alex, Stunty, Christopher Cole, Dom, many others through their streams and messages help me with that type of music. I know the big names, but getting reference points to expand on that type of music has been really, really helpful. So thank you. That led me, now we'll pick up the pace. That led me to get Phil Nyblock, I've never pronounced his name to anyone. This box set 2 LP from Bloom, wooden. This is a second pressing of 300. 4 full flutes. Absolutely love it. Drone, extension of notes on the flute. Really, really enjoy this. There's great backstory on that if you want to look it up. This one was from Special, from the talented, kind, hysterical Angelo Kelly, who gave me his album, his all analog album, and some other things. But this last year he gave me Igas Milan, Las Filas de Ilgahadad, and I know I'm butchering that. Tuareg music, unusual in the aspect that apparently women don't normally play guitar in their music and their culture, and it's absolutely fantastic. And they also have a live album that I learned about. This was his only copy that he picked up in Germany, and he sent a beautiful note with it, and I absolutely love it. Treasure it. No surprise, my favorite release of 2023 was Water Damage. And I really thought about why. Why did this hit me so hard? And the reason it did is because going back, talking about that conscious effort to meditate to music, I did not think an angry, loud, minimal deviation, Tibetan monk hardcore-like music would fit, that I'd able to sit with it the way I do with Reich and other music, and it did, and I think that blew me away. So Water Damage, my favorite release of 2023. Also has the best label of 2023. Sunshower Takeya Onuki. This is City Pop, a repress. The reason why I'm picking up some of these City Pop records is because it's probably a bad idea, but we lost Ryuichi Sakamoto, an absolute musical hero to me. I adore Yellow Magic Orchestra, Hosono. They're incredible musicians, and they can do so much, and I'm starting to get into the tentacles of what they did. Some of these guys are like a mini Japanese wrecking crew, and so I'm starting to collect some of the compositions or pop records they played on, because they could do it all, and this one is a legendary one, so glad I picked that up. Lush Spooky Remaster. Just absolutely thrilled that this is back in print. The remaster's great. But if Chatty Cakes, you're watching this, and I know you're watching, I only know you do what you like, but let's do 4AD at 45 RPM. the early records or some of the classics. Because when I hold my old 4AD ones, the Cocteau Twins and so forth, the art is iconic with this label. And it had textured sleeves, and it was just a beautiful presentation. Not always the best pressing. But some of this would be good at 45 RPM. I know a lot of people are probably rolling their eyes, but it would be a lot of fun to do these at 45 RPM. My favorite cover, and absolutely dig, Material Objects Passing Through, Dom Seeking a Thread. This is incredible. And he did all the little things that we love, being closet audiophiles, did it to tape, 45 RPM EP. I think this is his second one. But more importantly, they're back in the studio, and we're going to get even better music from them, which he says he has better music, but this is incredible. So living up to this, Tom, might be hard, but I think what's exciting is that there'll be more of it. So thank you so much, Dom, for doing this. You and your mates knocked it out of the park. Excited to see what you're doing. Again, my favorite cover of 2023 right there. Make the list smaller. My voice is fading. Meaguru from Ilia, Spanish artist. Electronic. She brings in some acoustic instruments. She has one other full release, but I think it was cassette only and electronic only. This is an enormous sounding record. It's haunting. It's daunting. It really draws you in and keeps your attention. This is from the Balmont label that I'm starting to follow. I haven't really made a conscious effort to follow labels for a very long time, to really be a completist in labels. And they have this running thread with their artwork, and so I'm really jumping in and enjoying some of the other artists on their label. Peter Lang, The Thing at the Nursery Room Window. I think Christopher Cole posted this on Instagram, and I bumped into it like a week later. One of those records you can't believe it hasn't been in your life for longer. Tacoma label, Fahey, legendary. But I knew Peter Lang with his work with other artists. I didn't know any of his own records. Absolutely fantastic. Jengger Bali, Tony Scott, and the Indonesian Allstars. This is an MPS reissue series, AAA, I believe, or it's called their AAA series. This was a grail to many jazz fans. If you're of an age, you might remember Tony Scott for kind of some of his new agey stuff that was very successful. He hooked up with some hot shots from Indonesia. It's accessible jazz. By no means is it out there. I think it's great. And there is a little bit of influence from Indonesia. But more importantly, this has the best booklet of any record I bought this year. The information, I won't go into it, is fantastic. It's well worth it. And I can't wait to see what MPS does next. This made a lot of people's lists. Extensions, McCoy Tyner. I had never had this on vinyl. Absolutely gorgeous. Side 2 particularly. Elvin Jones, Alice Coltrane, Bron Carter, Wayne Shorter. Mental group. And I really like how the second side almost disintegrates into this almost elastic nature that it's not even jazz. I don't even know what to call it. You could call it even neoclassical in some ways. But absolutely beautiful, and so glad Tone Poet did that. I had to take a break from my voice. That's how pathetic I am. And now I'm hopped up on Celsius. So thank you for slogging through this. Here's the deal. It's not even a good list. Further proof. It's not a very good list. Vivaldi, Four Seasons. I used to live by an unusual pick for my best of 2023 pickups. I used to live by numerous colleges or universities. And predictably, if you go to the thrift stores around there or your secret spots, you find a lot of classical. You also find private press by universities, as many of you know. But this living stereo are desirable. So if they're in good shape, I bring them home, I clean them, I throw them on the deck, and if they sound great, VG+, I sell them. And I've done this many times. I did that with this copy, and it absolutely exploded out of my speakers. I could not believe how good it sounded. So whatever reputation to many that living stereo has, or the magic that they think the originals have, is in this copy. Some might call it a hot pumper, hot stamper. And speaking of that, this was gifted to me, and they'd be appalled if I said their name because they're not on social media. They are a proper audiophile, but Sgt Pepper, this is a UK Early last year, this was given to me, and they were a big fan of this matrix. It's UK 81, 82. Beatles experts would know. And I think the person who mastered this has a very good reputation or some connection to the Beatles. Something, again, you can tell me in the comments. I'm showing it for two reasons. One, to piggyback off Mazzy's wanker list. Have no idea why the greatest pop group of all time, their original records aren't in print. It makes no sense to me. They would be amazing to gift to kids, cousins, nieces, nephews as they get started in vinyl. It is what it is, but they should be in print. The second reason I'm showing this is, like Vivaldi, this blew me away how good it sounded. This is stereo. And I was taken back how incredible it sounded. Now, Sgt Pepper's is a stereo record. I mean, come on. I know Lennon and all those people go on and on about mono. This is a stereo record. And I think Anthony Fantano, the great Melon, last year said that this wasn't a 10, which that's mental illness. This is a 10. Love of God. If you want the Matrix, again, I don't think it's hard to find. Hit me up on Instagram and I'll give it to you. I hope I'm not jinxing this, but there's a thrift store very close to me who has a cause that's near and dear to me and our family, who randomly dropped, well, first of all, they got good stuff. It's a bit of a honey hole. And they randomly dropped over 2 days British pressings of American bands, tons of them. And one of the ones that just made me smile is the Superman REM single 45 RPM. I never had this as a single with that iconic cover. The B-sides are no joke. White Tornado, Femme Fatale. And, you know, it's always great to pick up a little piece of America's second greatest rock band. You run into REM in Georgia all the time, but I never ran into that. MalWalden, OJC. I've always wanted this on vinyl. MalWalden's incredible, and just was awesome that they decided to do this early on in this series. Really, really happy they did that. No surprise, this was an upgrade for me. Wayne Shorter Schizophrenia. I'm a Wayne Shorter super fan, and the folks at Blue Note continue to deliver with these tone poets, but whenever you're going to do Wayne Shorter, you're going to have my attention. I adore Wayne. Very, very excited to pick that up. Terry Riley in C. I had this, or have it, but people really told me that the Pure Pleasure version of this was special, and indeed it is special. The original is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it was very cool to get this type of music in the so-called audiophile format. Some of that can be a bit smoke and mirrors, but this is very, very good. And, oh man, Christopher Cole. This is connected to two people. When I did that video last year talking about how I was going to approach certain types of music, Stunty immediately jumped in to my DMs on Instagram and suggested these two titles, and I wanted them. But they were French, a bit hard to find, and randomly having a conversation with Christopher Cole in DMs, and he had found these two titles that Stunty recommended. Elaine Kremensky Vibrations, Elaine Kremensky, and Gongs. I don't want to butcher the French. Apparently these are like 200-year-old gongs from Iran. And then the Tibetan Bow music, if I'm describing that correctly. Stream these a bunch of times on YouTube, and absolutely so generous and so incredible that he gave these to me. And Christopher Cole, it means the world to me, and Stunty turning me on to this was special. But these are really, really, I will treasure these. Thank you so much. Okay, one last edit. Another unusual selection for Best of 2023, Swan Lake. And I'm showing this because my lady friend, who I'm playing way, way above the rim with, is a former ballerina. And I picked up this Swan Lake. This is a US copy, but the record's are actually pressed in the UK. And she adores Swan Lake. And her eyes welled up when I gave this to her because she knows how much I love music. But she's not, obviously, she's not a degen with vinyl like I am. But she was so moved that I gave this to her, and it's absolutely beautiful. And she was a good ballerina. And it's so much fun when you can have something in your hobby that you can share with someone else. And she has been my absolute rock. I don't talk about her a lot, but she's been my absolute rock through everything. And Swan Lake, she adores that. So I picked that up for her. And she loves it. And someone else who's been my rock is jazz bum Felipe, who gave me some records from Brazil last year, who I met. And 2023 is the year where I legit made friends in this wild community, in this music and vinyl community. And he gave me this Antonio Carlos and Hocafa and Louvada Serra. My Portuguese is as bad as my French. And he gave me some other records that were incredible, that meant a lot to him as a kid. So thank you, Felipe. You're an incredibly generous and kind gentleman, and it means the world. And I want you all to have a great 2024, and I will see you soon. Take care.